the public have had lots of opportunity to kick the tires and see who's performed well under pressure and see who has ideas that have resonated with the public. I've done my best to put together a team of individuals and a grassroots base of support that I'm very proud of. I think our campaign is resonating with people. They're concerned about what's gone on in the last 4 years. And I think my absence from the municipal scene has put a lot in perspective. Since leaving municipal government a decade ago, I've spent time with the Tourism Commission and at Queen's Park for 6.5 years, and it's given me, in my opinion, a better and broader perspective on the challenges facing our city. And unfortunately, the last 4 years, it's been almost like watching a series of fender benders or car crashes. It's just been very frustrating personally to watch some of the indecisiveness and the lack of priority setting at City Hall. As a result, that was one of the reasons that prompted me to get back into municipal government. Not that I have all the answers, far from it, but I think I can bring some stability and credibility back to the mayor's office at a time when we're going to need a fair amount of stability and credibility with some very major projects going forward. But, you know, I guess one of the challenges that we have is that, you know, the council and the mayor and the city itself have to come to grips with what their priorities really are. And it's very difficult when one day it's light rail and then the next day it's a ring road, because they're, in my opinion, somewhat polar opposites. And we don't have enough money to finish the Phase 2 and Phase 3 of the light rail, yet we're now talking about a ring road and a new southern or western satellite community of 400,000 people. And I think my track record with respect to tax issues, you know, I was mayor for 3 years. We froze taxes for 2 years. We reduced debt. We increased reserve funds. The polar opposite has happened over the last 4 years, where taxes have gone up by 14%, an average of 4.5% the last 3 years. But we're going to have to make some cuts. There's no question about that. I've proposed a cap that I think is realistic and attainable to achieve of 2.5%. It's not a tax freeze. It's not a tax cut. But even with the 2.5%, I've recommended a series of budget reductions on the administrative side and greater efficiency in the operation of some of our services. But the big challenge we have is on the capital budget, to make sure that the light rail and Lansdowne and housing initiatives and others are kept in line, and we have a firm fiscal oversight of those projects from start to finish. So I see the role of the mayor of bringing the parties together as what should have happened with the Mahogany development in Manotick and what should be happening now with the Sers de la Visitation. I think there are some legitimate grievances on the part of the community that the site is going to be overdeveloped, and I would see my role as being an honest broker who can assist the councillor, the community, and the developer to come up with a plan that is perhaps not perfect, but avoids us going to a costly OMB battle. And as we saw with the Manotick situation, it's a roll of the dice and you lose everything. The community that was opposing it lost everything because the OMB and then subsequently Divisional Court sided with Minto. We want to move forward to improve our transit. I want to make sure that there are fewer people living on the streets. I want to ensure that we have the economic development tools to expand our job opportunities, particularly for young people. And I want to make sure that over the course of the next 20 years, we're better able to deal with the aging population created by the shift in demographics. And I think my job as mayor is to leave our city in better shape than we found it financially and socially and culturally and environmentally. I think you know, we have a collective responsibility to ensure that our vision is within our reach and is affordable. I think there's been enough due diligence on it. I've took my time because I too had concerns about the tunnel. And quite frankly, until the tenders come in, everyone should have concerns about the cost, because we're not going to know what the true price is until the project is signed off on. I don't want the politicians, after they've approved the plan and signed the contract, micromanaging a $2.1 billion project. Because every time there's a change order, we know the price of change orders, contractors love them, and the taxpayer ends up footing the bill for these change orders. We're going to have a light rail system in the next, if we keep on time, in the next 8 years, the first phase. The challenge we have with going forward on phases 2 and 3 is money. So part of the job, once phase 1 has started the construction period, the next most important job the mayor has to do is to work with the federal and provincial governments to see what the timelines are to move on the next 2 phases, because we obviously don't have any commitment beyond that, and we can't simply have a light rail system that goes from Blair Road to Tunney's Pasture and that's it. It's got to go out to Orleans and to Canada, and then it's got to go down south. The interim solution is that we have to continue to improve and regain the confidence of the public in the bus system that we have. And we've lost a lot of that, particularly post-strike. When you look at the on-time performance of OC Transpo, it's not particularly good. There was a report out last week that showed there were 1,400 trips canceled. The staff came back and said, no, it wasn't 1,400, it was closer to 800. Well, 800 trips canceled tells me there's a problem. And so in tandem with building a modern light rail system, we're going to have to work collectively as a council and as a city to try to improve the existing bus system, which will be the stopgap measure until we have the light rail system up and running. I think reducing the size of council to probably down by about 6 would not only save us $2 million, it would also, I think, make the council more efficient and hopefully give the members of council a broader perspective on their responsibilities. No surprise to some of you, I'm not the flashiest person or in the room or the life of the party, but I like to think that I can bring a sense of calmness and reasonableness to city council and to the colleagues I work with and get on with the job.